Okay, so we have a few of you guys here tonight. We're doing this mastermind call tonight as a different day. Usually these calls are on Monday, but we're doing it tonight because we missed the last week because of Christmas. So hey there, Matt. Hey, Lane. Hey, JP. Hey, Anne. How you guys all doing tonight? So let's kick off, guys. What challenges do you guys here in the mastermind have this week, or what's in your mind this week from, it's the brand new year where we're getting off to a good start. What are you guys focused on going into the new year? Do you have any particular challenges, any goals, any questions at all? Let me know in the comments on Zoom right here. And if you want to take the microphone, if anyone wants to jump on the mic and talk to me one-to-one personally, now's your chance. Let me know in the comments, and we'll open it up. Okay, so the guys get to chat to me. We're also dual streaming today, so I've also got my phone over here. We're live streaming to the free group. Those guys are kind of peeking in on our mastermind session tonight, which is pretty cool. So guys, comments. Who wants to take the microphone? Who wants to chat? What kind of questions do we have? Let me know in the comments. Okay. All right. So as we know, guys, we just kicked off the new year. And the big thing we're focused on this year is really three things. So to start scaling things up and get a proper business in place, there's going to be three main factors I want you guys to focus on. So someone asked earlier in the mastermind group about, what to focus on this year. With all the different things that are out there, what do you focus on? So I suggest that you focus on three simple things. There's leadership, systems, and growth. All right, leadership, systems, and growth. And for you guys just jumping on the line on the mastermind here, more of you guys are jumping on. Once again, let me know in the comments if you have a question, what challenge you want to help dealing with. And if you want to jump on the microphone, let me know there. Okay, so Anne dropped a question. Anne, do you want to jump on the microphone and chat? Let me know in the comments and I can open up the microphone for you. So while Anne is responding to that, again, guys, leadership, systems, and growth. These are the three things you're going to focus on this year. Leadership is all about mindset, because getting from 0 to 6 figures it's largely a lot to do with what you do. Okay, you just build some systems, you build a little foundation, you create a program, you create a product, you set up some basic advertising, you make some content, you make some phone calls, you get out there. So what you do generally helps you get to that 5, 6, 7,000 a month mark. And this is what we call the validation stage. This is validating your product or service. You're trying it out and seeing if people will do it. The next phase, though, going from kind of 5, 6K a month or even 6 figures up to $1 million business, is more about who you are. It's about who you're being more than what you're doing. Because actually you want to do less. You want to work on the business, not in it. And as you remove yourself out of the company, if you want more freedom, if you want more scale, you want to stop being the bottleneck, then you've got to start looking at yourself and realizing who have you got to become to be that leader of the company. Because a lot of people struggle to get out of the business, or they try it and they fail. Thank you, honey. Thank you. And a lot of people either don't try at all, or they try to remove themselves and they fail. They try and automate something, or they try and take on team members, and often they panic and jump back into doing the work again because they didn't work on who they are. They didn't work on the leadership skills. you can delegate tasks, but you can't delegate ultimate responsibility. We know that the team members you take on, they're not partners. They're not partners to help you do it. They're working for you, right? So you need to really be stronger emotionally than everyone in the company. They're the ones that look to you for guidance. So what happens is people will remove themselves from the work. They'll hire a coach. They'll put a professional in. They'll hire an admin person. And then they'll kind of just sit back and go, right, I've outsourced that so I can do nothing now. And it doesn't work like that, because those people need to be led. Your team need to be led. If you let them kind of just figure things out on their own, they're not going to do it because they're not as forward thinking as you, right? So that's leadership, okay? You've got to work on yourself, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. Once you're a leader and you're developing yourself as a person all the time, then we can talk about systems, building systems and people and infrastructure, and then growth, which is scaling that up. All right, I'm just going to break that train of thought there to talk to, go through the comments here. So Anne, I'm going to put you on. Okay, Anne, are you there? Can we hear you? Okay. So Anne, I can't unmute you for some reason. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm walking outside to a meeting and it's like minus something, so my hands are frozen. Yeah, that's why I couldn't unmute myself. Okay, yeah, I had the question about module 2, and actually since you started talking about leadership, I had another question on that as well. So,
okay, let's go to the first question. So what was the first thing?
Well, I started with module 2, and remember you showed the triangle with the 3-tiered system, and you said that we would have to have something for all selling options. So it's cheaper, something cheaper, and then something for the higher paid clients. And you referred a lot to coaching, which I think is great. I was just having trouble thinking of something that I could actually sell to my clients that would be cheaper and that they'd want to buy.
Okay. You're talking about module 2 of the old authority program. Not
yes.
So talking about pricing tiers, different services, and I mean, you want to tell people quickly, so everyone listening to this, tell them quickly what you do. So
yeah, sure.
Just in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a manual osteopath, and obviously I treat people manually with their pain and so on. So the highest price point is for them to actually come in for an appointment. That's what we want to keep rolling. But I was trying to look at something, maybe lower that I could actually sell to clients that might get them interested in actually coming in as well.
Okay, cool. So osteopathy, right? So
yes.
So in an osteopathy business, then what could the levels of service be? Now, the simplest way to look at it is just think of it as you have your main core product or offering, your main service, and then you have like a diet version, which would be a slightly reduced amount of access for a reduced amount of money. And then you have like a VIP or upsell version, which gives people an additional level of support, right? So it always starts with that baseline, the core standard program. So in osteopathy, it could be, and again, it's different when everyone has different appointments and comes different times. What we usually say is there's going to be like an average, people will come on average twice a month or whatever it might be. And that's kind of like your, it isn't called a subscription, but it is like a recurring revenue that on average your customer will maybe spend, $100 a session twice a month on average, giving you an average of about $200 per month per client. So that would be like a standardized thing. You might offer a 2-session a month or a 3-session a month package. And so that's the core element. Now, so now we're looking at for a downsell for people that you present that to after your after they've been through your kind of trial or lead magnet or consultation. And if they say for any reason, either I don't want to pay that much, or I can't make those sessions, like I would love to, but I can't do that much. Do you have something else I can do? So rather than kind of turn that person away and say, no, pal, it's 2 sessions a week or nothing, get lost, something else. Or maybe it's something less remote. So I remember when I was running my gym, and my email list would somehow build from all around the island, and people would email me that were like 2 hours away, and just said like, I love your stuff, I love your content, I love your ads, but because back when I was advertising back then, you couldn't even target by town back then. That's how old school I was with advertising. So people 2 hours were getting my stuff, and some of them wanted help, but they couldn't travel that far. So I was like, okay, maybe I can help you with some email coaching, or we can hop on the phone once a month, or come into the studio once a month, or whatever it might be. So you can just be flexible and think of ways they can get some help for a reduced way. It could just be for you. It could be like just a once a month check-in, right? Or it could be something else. So it's not about thinking like info product or anything like that right now. You're not going to go and sell an ebook or anything.
Okay.
But it's just having something there that they can downsell to. Or, maybe it could be information based. It could be something like a little package which gives them home exercises. And
Yeah, I was thinking something maybe along the line of like work stretches, because my clientele's downtown based, right? Sitting at the desk all day,
yeah.
And selling that. But the thing is, we're kind of giving that to them after their appointment already for free. And then I was like, oh man, okay, so I'm doing what you told us not to do, but we've been doing that forever. So I think that's something we have to change.
It could even be something like you could offer, if you offered, let's say, a monthly workshop or something, like a seminar, paid workshop type of thing. That could be a downsell income stream. Where you could do a bit of like kind of teaching people some stuff. There's so many options when you think outside the box and stop thinking like chiropractor and or osteopath, sorry, and start thinking like what other industries might do. All my best ideas are taken from other industries, because industries fail to innovate because they all start copying each other, right? And most people who try and copy, most other osteopaths are broke and struggling, right? And so if we try copying other people, we get bad ideas. But if we look outside the industry, 99% of what I do in my fitness businesses and business consulting comes from I stole it from other industries, right? McDonald's drive-through was stolen from like the kind of ATM banking idea, right? Getting cash on the go. So you can think of it, the main way to think of it though, as an objective. There's tons of strategies you could use, tons of things you could do. The main objective with your lower barrier item though is, for me, the objective is, could I have something in place that is a bit less hands-on for me? That's why they pay less money for it. But can it liquidate the cost of me getting that lead? Right? So
Okay.
if you're booking 10 consults a week, like leads come in, and maybe that 3 of them will become customers long term, but we still paid for another 7 leads. And if your lead cost is like an average of $20 a lead, could we at least sell something for 20, 40, 60 bucks that 1 or 2 more leads might buy? And then we've liquidated our marketing cost for that week. We've grown essentially for free. That's starting off a simple objective for it. And when you know that, you can just be very flexible in what you offer someone, but you're just trying to monetize that lead so your marketing becomes free in a sense.
Right. Yeah, I have some ideas I think that I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. My second question actually was I hope I'm not taking anyone else's time, but the leadership thing that you had mentioned was really interesting, because I was kind of curious of maybe like how you develop, like your team that you're working with, like in regards regards to leadership? Because I guess you want to make sure their mindset is good too. So is there a system that you use with that, or?
There's plenty of different systems. I draw from my coaching background and a lot of different things. There's different leadership styles, different management styles, it depends on what the core values of your company are. So from module 2 of the new program, you've been through the core values and things like that. For me, everyone's got their own definition of a leader, I would say the core traits as a leader is you've got to be emotionally stable, because you're going to manage your energy, because when everyone in the company is having a bad day, or it could be they bring their own crap in that day with them, or it could be something outside happening, like if there's a big event or something happens that everyone is down and their energy is affected. Like imagine going to work the week after like 9/11 or something, and you've got 400 employees, right? The leaders and managers have got to turn that around and be like, right guys, like this has happened, but here's why we've got to get back on track and how we're going to do this. And so it's really about managing everyone's energy and flow and being in control of your own state. So it means like, you've got to keep your energy balanced, because you're their role model. How you are is going to be how your team are going to, your team will copy from you. You're a role model to your team, and your team will be role models to the customers. So it's a knock-on effect from you, right? And so leadership is about really being in control and stabilizing your own emotions and your own self-awareness, that if shit hits the fan, you're going to be affected by it, but you're going to keep your cool and not panic like they do. The worst managers, you all know, either you've done it or you've experienced it, is the manager gets pissed off and loses their cognitive ability and isn't helping anyone, right? That's what you've got to avoid. So things are going to go wrong. You take ultimate responsibility for it. The amount of success you have is determined by how much responsibility you're willing to handle. So responsibility for your own emotions, and responsibility is the ability to respond. It's literally what it means, right? Can you respond consciously and calmly to any situation, rather than react quickly and negatively and take it out on other people? Leadership is also about reading and understanding people. And it's about, there's no bad people on the team. That's a myth, right? There's just, you've put them in the wrong role doing the wrong thing. It's like with the kids, right? And they say in schools that, this kid is slow, or this kid isn't learning properly. And then they find out they changed the teaching style, or they change the teacher, or they put the kid doing a different subject, and the kid becomes like a genius, right? It's because there's no bad people. There's no slow people. There's only things people are naturally awesome at and things we naturally suck at. Your job as a leader is to find the people and find out what they're naturally going to be awesome at, and then let them do that. So good leaders are kind of directing traffic and moving people around. So you bring, and when you realize that, you realize how abundant the world is, that every single person you meet can add massive value to your company, because everyone is really good at something. Everyone's got that flow state, that superpower. And that's how I can more easily bring people into my company, because I'm more it looks like I'm just more trusting, right? But it's not. I'm more trusting of my own judgment, and I'm a better reader of character. And at this point, after dozens and dozens of team members around the world, some of which don't even speak English, I've learned to communicate on so many levels to know that, this person is going to be good at this. And even if they don't know, right, they might come in, I want to be a copywriter. And I'm like, you're going to suck at copywriting. You'll be really good at, I don't know, ads management or something. And they excel in that. So that's another thing of leadership, is understanding your people, understanding your assets, and making the most with what you've got. So, leadership, I could go on for like 4 days on leadership. But that's two main things: responsibility for your emotions and guiding your team. And just understanding your team, getting to know them. And if they're failing at something, find out why and take responsibility. Maybe first you've put them in the wrong role, or there's something they'll be better at. And when you learn that, then, you know, everyone becomes more resourceful to you. Does that help? Okay, so I think Anne's muted again. Okay, but we'll move on to the next question. So hopefully that helps you guys out with some leadership qualities. Okay, gonna look for a couple more questions. All right, so we've got a question from Brian in the program here. Well done to Brian. Brian actually kicked ass this week. He kicked off the new year, and he's in the, you know, the mindset self-help space. And he put an article out there, and it's going to be published by addictedtosuccess.com very quickly. So well done for that, Brian. Now, Brian says the strategy that you shared about growing your pixel audience instead of an email list is kind of messing with my mind, right? Now, again, this is where you got to stop looking at black and white terms. I didn't say we grow a pixel audience instead of an email list. I said we prioritize it over an email list, all right? We grow both. He says, I'm having trouble visualizing how to do this, especially as a newbie with little to no audience. Seems like I need to keep running ads to cold audience till I create a big enough base. And you've pretty much got it in one, Brian, okay? Basically, to capitalize on this pretty quickly, we're focused, so we talked about leadership, right? We've talked a little about systems. Now we're talking about growth. And so growth, the way things are moving, and I talked about this in a live stream earlier, and I also made a post about it in the free group for you guys. And what I'm focusing on this year is really pixel audience building, primarily video views, because now it's far, far cheaper to, you know, the cost of getting an email address from your marketing, getting a click from a Facebook ad or a Google ad or a YouTube ad to go to your website and then opt in, the costs are going up tremendously. They have been going up for a long time. And I've been telling people this. I've been saying for so many years, you've got to start, you know, building pixel audiences. I started building my pixel audience, you know, back in 2013, right? Before most of today's Facebook ad experts had even seen a real advert before. I was building custom audiences because I could tell this was the future. Because with a pixel audience, you can collect the people who viewed your video. You can't see exactly who they are or whatever it is, but it doesn't matter. We're focusing heavily on pixel audience because it's so much cheaper. An average cost to get an email is going to be between $3 and $8 for most industries by the end of this year, if not more than that, right? $3 to $8 for an email address. However, a pixel audience, to get someone to view 20 seconds or 30 or a couple of minutes of a video, they don't opt in, but they can watch a video with a Facebook ad or something, is significantly less, like under $1, probably, right? To get a 3 to 10 second video view can cost 1 cent or less. So at the end of the day, an audience is an audience, right? As long as you can capture what that audience person did, so we know what they're interested in, and we can retarget them and follow up with a new message, that's a good audience. Because that's all email list building does, right? Why do we build email lists? Because an email opt-in says it's a behavioral indicator to say, I am interested in this free report or this webinar or whatever it might be. So we know, this person on this list likes this stuff. And we can also then send them a follow-up email which says, here's more of that stuff and some stuff you can buy, right? It's what it is, being real, okay? So a pixel audience does exactly the same thing now. We can have people watch your videos on Facebook, live streams, or whatever it might be. We can see, obviously we know what they're interested in because the video or has a title, so we know they're interested in that topic. But we can also tell how long they've watched for. We can tell where they stopped watching the video. Then using the audience insight from Facebook, you can find out all the demographics of that audience. So if 10,000 people watched your video, Facebook can tell you where they were from, what their age ranges are, where they watched the video, like was it on their mobile or their desktop. And when your audience grows big enough, you can then plug that into audience insights, and Facebook is going to tell you what pages they like, what organizations they follow, what public figures they follow, and then your paid advertising can target those interests and get even more targeted people watching your videos. So you build an audience, you get all this data, and you can use that to get even cheaper viewers building up. All right, and that's simply what we've done to take one of my clients who had a live stream with an average of 2,000 daily viewers organically a few months ago. And then, myself and Mike, my Facebook manager, we started working with them, repurposed their content, put the ad strategy in place, and now 5 months later, they've gone from 2,000 views a day up to an average of 30,000 views a day, just by doing what I just told you, pretty much, right? And so, and we haven't even launched an email capture for these guys yet. That's to come this week. We've taken them from 2,000 live stream viewers to 30,000 with a budget of probably less than $1,000 a month on ad spend. And we've done that. And now we're going to start capturing email addresses. So what I'm saying is, Brian, that, if you are on a smaller budget anyway, it helps to start making more video content, putting it out there, and track and looking at the audience of video viewers you're building. And then to capture the emails, you retarget those viewers. So you get 20,000 people watching your video, which is ultra cheap on Facebook, like under $0.01 to get each person on there. And then you can do a follow-up advert that targets only those people that are most into your videos, and it offers them the chance to come forward and enter your funnel and give you the email address or subscribe to your webinar or whatever it might be. So that would reduce the cost of your email collection by a long shot. So that's pretty much it. Like it's nothing too complicated. It's just, if you get caught in the tactics of is email better than pixel audiences, then that's when you lose the whole point. That's why I'm always telling people it's about objectives and strategies, not tactics, right? If you keep looking, because the solopreneur, the startup mentality, it needs the quick fix. And it says, I don't want to use both these tools, just tell me which is the right one. And there is no right one. It's like, what's the best exercise to tone my arms? There isn't one, right? It's like if I came back to you as a mindset coach and said, Brian, I really want to develop myself spiritually. What's the best meditation for me to do? Is this meditation better than this meditation? Is this gratitude journal better than this gratitude journal? And you're going to say, well, try them both out. They both have different purposes. As long as you use one of them and you just remember to journal, or you remember to meditate, and you remember the objective of meditation, you're going to get results and you get momentum. So that's the difference with that. Okay, so there's no versus, there's no if or that, there's no black and white, right? You use all the tools. Okay, solopreneurs want one tool because they want to be a specialist. They want a hammer, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I want a freaking toolbox. So I'll use everything. I'm going to build my pixel audiences, going to build my email list, going to build my YouTube subscribers, but I'm only going to do as much as I can do with the budget and the time and the resources that I have. And then I will add more and more. Okay, guys, so got time for one more question, one more challenge. How are the rest of you guys doing here right now? Let me know if anyone else has any questions. And I'll tell you what I'll do, guys, to give you guys, we've got some viewers here in the free group. I'm going to give you guys a chance as well. If you guys want to submit a question here on the Facebook thread, drop a question right there. And if we get some good questions, I will answer one of yours live on the call as well. Give you guys some extra value. All right, so waiting for the first question to come in. Will it be from the Mastermind students, or will the question come from you guys in the free group? Let's check it out. Okay, so a question from Katie. Where is Sam, please? So unfortunately, Sam's not here right now. Good question, but he's not here. I'm not sure how much value he's going to add. All right, we've got a question from Rich Waterman, but I'm just going to check that none of the clients have asked a question first because they have to, take priority. Okay, no questions from the Mastermind clients. So Rich Waterman, it's your question then. So Rich is asking, I'm at capacity in one-to-one training. What would be the next step to start scaling? Okay, so the next step, right? It's going to be taking a step back before a step forward, right? Because, just because you filled up a one-to-one service, that's got you, a really good startup business. It's got you a good revenue coming in, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to make the best business model, and it doesn't mean it should be the next thing you actually want to scale, right? So think about that. Like, McDonald's, for example, started off with, burgers and milkshake, and that was it. And they started selling burgers and milkshake really, really well. If they had scaled up only selling burgers and milkshake, they wouldn't be making probably 40% of the money they make today. So what you've got to realize here, Rich, is it's not the one-to-one thing that needs scaling. It's your methodology, right? So you've clearly, if you're at full capacity, it means doing well, people like it, you've validated the program, but it's not necessarily the one-to-one. It's your syllabus, it's your methodology. So that's what you need to systemize, and then you can learn to sell that in multiple formats. So take whatever it is you teach your clients, think of the top kind of 3 to 5 main core principles it's based on, and then make sure you have documented the actual syllabus. Like, what would you take a client through on module number 1 or step 1? What's the second most important thing? What's the third most important thing? And I would advise you to actually create it as if it was like an online course. I'm not saying you're going to sell an online course, but you want to create it as it was. Make 3 to 5 core modules. Then think of 3 bullet points in each module, like 3 most important teaching points. So in module 1, the most important 3 things are this, this, and this. The second pillar of my program is this. So this. And once you have those, and make some videos, okay? Make 3 10-minute videos on each of those little topics. And then you have you have a documented syllabus on course. Now, the reason we do this is that yes, you can sell it. You do have now a scalable income stream if that's what suits your model. But more importantly, you've now got a training system to bring on other coaches if that's what you want to do. So, I'm not sure of the nature of your work exactly, but it doesn't matter what it is. If it's chiropractic, osteopath, fitness training, dog walking, it doesn't matter what it is. Once you have the syllabus out of your head and onto a document like a video, you can then go out there and start looking for coaches if you want. You can take on an apprentice who has to go through your videos to understand this is the way you do things with your clients. And then you can start looking at, what model makes sense to scale in your business. It could be a group coaching program. It could be a product, like a scalable product or online course or membership site. It could even be one-to-one. You can scale up one-to-one, right? You just need more one-to-one coaches. But that model usually only works with ultra high-end clients. So I know people that have scaled all 3 of those things. What really matters though at this point is now deciding what's going to work for you. All right. So, to answer that in more depth, I have to get to know you a lot more, understand a lot more about the business, but it's the methodology you scale up and can be sold in multiple different business formats, different products. All right, guys, that wraps it up. For today, I'm going to